Good morning, my loves. Welcome back. So in today's video, we are going to talk about synastry again, and we will talk about an aspect that I have been seeing a lot lately. And this is the aspect between Mercury and the moon in a square. Now, what is this aspect all about, and what can we learn? So first of all, let's look at Mercury. Mercury is the mind. It's our mental capacity, the way we mentally approach life, the way we learn, the way we understand the world on the mental plane, and also the way we communicate, right? The way we communicate with our surrounding. And the moon is our emotional intelligence. It's how we emotionally digest and respond to our environment. Now, when these two come together in a square aspect, which is the most difficult aspect in an astrology chart, in my opinion, you know, some people say the opposition is more difficult. I would disagree there, but that is not the question that we are approaching today. The square is major tension. And the square also shows us that we don't really see the other side. In an opposition, we see the other side, right? The other side is very clear to us. We see it. We don't agree with it, but we see it. In a square, we don't really see it. We, through the tension, we learn and understand that other person, the other side, but it's not clear in the beginning. That's why we have this tension. We are like, what? Why are they like that? Why are they talking like that? Why are they thinking like that? So the mental plane of one person, the mental facilities, capacities of one person are at odds with the emotional body, the emotional understanding of the other. Now, what can we do about this? Well, we have to, like with every square aspect, become conscious. And how do we become conscious? In a square, well, we become conscious through conflict. A square is an aspect of conflict. And that conflict, when it comes to Mercury and the moon, usually is brought to us through communication. And the way we can feel here sometimes is that the other doesn't get me. They don't get me. I keep talking, I keep telling them clearly what I mean, and they don't get it. How do they not get it? I'm using words, I'm describing it, but they don't get it. They don't get it because they don't look at it from a mental perspective. You're talking to the moon here, and the moon is not understanding through words. The moon understands through energetic giving and receiving, right? It's an energetic exchange. But if we try to mentally explain through words something that is happening in our world, that moon will not receive it. We need to find a way to communicate with each other on the same level, because we are not communicating on the same level, right? One communicates on the mental plane, the other communicates on the emotional plane. You know, can you see that? It says like we don't understand each other. We don't get each other. So this is a very difficult aspect in a relationship chart. It's not an easy one to overcome. We really have to find other aspects here that mend this aspect, that make it more relatable, because these two can't relate. These two by themselves, they cannot relate. There's gonna be conflict constantly. I'm not saying this is a relationship that will not last, but you definitely need other aspects that can balance out this one to make a relationship last, because we are talking about the moon here. Anytime the moon is involved in a relationship chart, in synastry or composite, we are dealing with the unconscious, and the unconscious doesn't deal with logic. We can't talk to this person with logic, right? Mercury wants to be logical. The moon is not understanding that. It's not how the moon operates. The moon needs to be addressed on a moon level. So if you, for example, have a compatible moon, your partner and you, compatible moon, this one, you will be able to deal with it. I don't want to say easily, but surely you will. If you don't have compatible moons, this one is going to be even more difficult because we just cannot understand each other. There will be constant conflict, and maybe we'll be able to find a way to relate on a mental plane somehow, and then also relate on an emotional plane through different aspects. But these two, they might learn slowly from each other, because everything with the moon moves relatively slowly when it comes to understanding it, making it conscious. But the conflict you will always be prone to it, to that conflict, if you want to talk something out. If, let's say, you have an issue that is relating to your inner childhood wounds, trying to approach it from a mental plane, forget it. You will not be successful. Let's say you are the Mercury and that other person is the moon, and you see that your issue with each other has to do with your inner wounding, with their inner wounding, but you might also have an understanding that then, of course, also has to do with your inner wounding. Now, you might want to explain to the moon person that they have to do their inner child work. Well, that is not going to go down well. You telling them that they have to deal with their inner child, they will just completely shut off. So what you have to do, you'll have to learn to zip it. Don't approach that moon from that logical level saying, well, you just have to do therapy. That will, even if the moon knows that, they will not feel safe with you. The moon will not feel safe with Mercury telling them what's wrong with them. That Mercury person has to find another way, use some other energetics within them, within the relationship, to approach that moon, to make the moon feel safe again, because the moon is not feeling safe with you. That square, the moon is not feeling safe, and you don't understand what the problem is with that moon. It's like, what is wrong with you? It's so clear. It's so clear to me. You just have to do this, because the moon, the Mercury approaches everything very logical, right? There's a framework. The moon doesn't have a framework. Everything is And Mercury thinks, well, just follow logical steps. And it's not possible, because the moon is the unconscious, and there are no logical steps in the unconscious. So again, you have to find a different way to deal with your quote-unquote misunderstandings. There will be a lot of misunderstandings when you try to approach something from a logical plane with the moon. You'll have to find another way. You'll have to be able to emotionally relate to the moon somehow to make this relationship feel more smooth. So if you have any questions about this particular aspect, let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. and I will see you in the next video.